She thought she had more time. More time to call. More time to say the things she kept postponing. The last message from her mother was simple, ordinary, almost forgettable. And that is exactly why it broke her. Her name was Ayesha. She was not a bad daughter. That's what makes this story painful. She loved her mother. She respected her. She just got busy. Life moved fast. Responsibilities piled up. Deadlines replaced dinners. Notifications replaced conversations. At first, nothing felt wrong. Ayesha lived in the city. She had worked hard to get there. A stable job, a rented apartment, independence, a routine built around survival and ambition. Her mother lived back in their hometown. A small house, quiet street, familiar neighbors. The same kitchen where Ayesha grew up. Every morning, her mother would wake up before sunrise. She would make tea. She would sit by the window for a few minutes, letting the light enter the house. Then she would check her phone. Sometimes there was a message from Ayesha. Most days there wasn't, but she always checked. In the beginning, Ayesha used to call every night. Long conversations, laughter, complaints about work, stories about colleagues, questions about neighbors, advice about cooking. Her mother listened carefully to everything, even the small details. But as months passed, the calls became shorter. Then they became irregular. Then they became scheduled. I'll call on Sunday, Mama. Sunday often turned into next Sunday. Not because she didn't care, because she was tired. Because after working 10 hours, she just wanted silence. Because sometimes she didn't want to hear another person needing her. Her mother never complained. She would just say, "Beta, take care of yourself. Eat on time," simple words, repeated every call. Ayesha began to find comfort in the fact that her mother was always there, always available, always forgiving. She stopped asking how her mother was. She assumed she was fine. She stopped noticing the slight tiredness in her mother's voice. She ignored the way conversations became shorter from her side too. Sometimes her mother would say, "When are you coming home?" Ayesha would laugh lightly. "Soon, Mama. Work is crazy right now." Work was always crazy. One evening, her mother sent her a message. "Did you eat?" Ayesha saw it while sitting in a meeting. She thought, "I'll reply later." She forgot. The next morning there was another message. "Call me when you're free." She felt a small irritation. Why does she message so much? She typed, "Busy. We'll call at night." At night she didn't call. She fell asleep scrolling on her phone. Weeks passed. Their conversations became routine and dry. "Everything okay?" "Yes. Work. Busy." "You?" "Same." There was love in those calls. But there was distance too. Distance built from comfort. From assumption, from thinking there will always be another chance. One day, her mother mentioned feeling tired. Just tired. Ayesha said, "You should rest more." Her mother laughed softly. "I rest all day." They both laughed. They did not know that sometimes tired means something deeper. Then came the last message. It was a normal Tuesday. Ayesha was rushing to work. Her phone buzzed. "Beta, I miss you. Call me when you can." She read it while walking. She smiled slightly. She thought, "I'll call tonight." She even imagined the conversation. She would tell her about a possible promotion. She would ask about her health. She would say, maybe she'll visit next month. That night, her phone rang. It wasn't her mother. It was a neighbor. His voice was shaking. "Come home." That was all he said. The world did not stop dramatically. There was no music. No warning. Just silence inside her chest. Her mother had collapsed in the afternoon. Heart attack. They tried to reach her. They called Ayesha. Her phone was on silent in a meeting. By the time she saw the missed calls, it was too late. The hospital corridor smelled like disinfectant and fear. Everything felt unreal. Her mother looked smaller on the hospital bed. Still, quiet. For the first time in her life, she was not waiting for Ayesha's call. There was no scolding, no advice, no "did you eat?" Only silence. Ayesha stood there, holding her mother's cold hand. Her mind replayed every ignored message, every postponed visit, every rushed conversation. The last message, "Beta, I miss you. Call me when you can." She opened her phone. She stared at it. She typed, "I'm here, Mama." But there was no one to read it. The funeral passed in a blur. Relatives came and went. They spoke about her mother's kindness, about how she always talked about her daughter. "She was so proud of you." That sentence felt like a knife. Proud of what? Of a daughter who was too busy to call. Back in the city, her apartment felt different, quieter, heavier. Her phone no longer buzzed with, "Did you eat?" At first, she felt strange relief from the constant checking. Then the emptiness hit. There would never be another random message, never another Sunday reminder, never another simple question asked out of pure love. She realized something brutal. Her mother never needed long conversations. She just needed presence. A few minutes, a little attention, to feel remembered. Ayesha had convinced herself that financial support was enough, that sending money showed love, that building a career was making her mother proud. But love is not measured in bank transfers. It is measured in time, in attention, in listening. The harsh truth is this. We treat strangers with more patience than our parents. We respond faster to work emails than to their messages. We assume they will always be there. We forget that they are aging while we are chasing progress. We scroll for hours, but 5 minutes on a call feels like a burden. That is the part that hurts. Ayesha started noticing things she had ignored before. Her mother's last voice note. She played it repeatedly. Beta, don't stress too much. I pray for you every day. Her mother had been praying for her every day, and she could not even call back. Regret is heavy. It does not scream. It sits quietly in your chest. It shows up at night when the room is dark. It whispers, you had time. She stopped enjoying her achievements. The promotion came. The salary increased. But there was no one waiting eagerly to hear the news. No one whose voice would shake with pride. She realized she had been running so fast that she forgot who she was running for. Her mother had sacrificed her own comfort for years. Late nights, early mornings, worries she never spoke about, and Ayesha repaid that love with postponement. This is not about being a bad person. It is about forgetting priorities. We think love understands delay, but sometimes delay becomes distance, and distance becomes silence. Slowly, something inside Ayesha changed. She started calling her father every evening, even when she was tired, even when the conversation felt ordinary. She visited home more often. She sat in her mother's old kitchen. She noticed the small cracks in the walls. She touched the utensils her mother used. She understood something deeply painful. You never realize how much someone was holding your life together until they are gone. Her mother had been her emotional safety, a constant presence, a silent supporter. Now she had to become stronger without that safety net. The grief did not disappear. It softened over time, but the lesson stayed sharp. Love should not be saved for later. Affection should not be scheduled like a meeting. Parents do not ask for grand gestures, they ask for time, for attention, for a call. Ayesha began sharing her story quietly with friends. Many of them said the same thing. I've been meaning to call my mother. Work has been crazy. I'll visit next month. Excuses that sound harmless. Until they are not. Life does not send reminders before it changes forever. There is no warning message that says, this is your last chance. The last conversation never feels like the last. That is why it is dangerous to assume you have time. Years later, Ayesha still keeps that final message saved, not to torture herself, but to remind herself. Whenever she feels too busy for family, whenever she thinks she will call tomorrow, she reads it. Beta, I miss you. Call me when you can. Those words are simple, but they carry the weight of everything unsaid. She cannot change the past, but she can change how she lives now. She chooses presence. She chooses to answer. She chooses to sit with people instead of rushing away. Grief taught her responsibility. It taught her that love is not automatic. It must be expressed. It must be shown. It must be prioritized. We chase security. We chase success. We chase validation. But the people who love us quietly wait in the background, not demanding, not complaining, just hoping for a little of our time. One day, they stop waiting, and the silence that follows is louder than anything. If there is one truth her story carries, it is this. Do not wait for loss to teach you the value of presence. Do not let the last message become the one you never answered, because success means nothing if you cannot share it with the people who prayed for it. In the end, careers can be rebuilt. Money can be earned again. But time with your parents is a one-time gift. Once it passes, it does not return. Ayesha learned this too late, and she will carry that lesson for the rest of her life. Life does not break our hearts to punish us. It breaks them to wake us up. Value the people who are still here, before the only thing left is a message you can never reply to.